So hello everyone, welcome to my review of Black Clover episode 27. I found it a pretty good episode. Yeah, I think it was okay. It wasn't the best episode, it wasn't the bad pacing and so on, but I think it was reasonably good, better than last week, even though... Okay, I was realistic. Last week, the king scene in the ending was really good, right? That was a really good scene, absolutely, that was fantastic. But up to that point, the episode was horrible. So, as a whole, the episode was better. Because I had less recap, it was more on point, right, so on. So, I guess in that sense it was better, but it didn't have as impactful like scene as last week. And it was kind of like just concluding the everything started arc, right? Okay, this people captured, they haven't figured out who it is. The king is clearly aware that they need his pendant from Fugelon, and I mean I liked that a lot with the king. The king isn't just some idiot, right? I think that's great. I mean he's kind of this kind of playful, shorting kind of guy in the beginning there, but as it comes to the the actual meat, he's kind of like, no, I saw this slab. It had this number of rocks, it was this number of holes left, so they need to fill these holes out. That makes sense to capture him to get his team to fill the hole out. I mean, the king is pissing, the king understood directly there, okay, this is the part here, right, that the bad guys are doing. So I think that's great. I love that with, I love that with, with the character actually kind of, aren't retards. Yeah, but they aren't, it's actually like, yeah, I understand the plan now. So that was great, and also, of course, the king is like, oh, it has to be a traitor. At least one person is obviously betraying us inside of the kingdom. So I think that was great. The king kind of pretty much summarized that he's up to speed. That us as the viewer also knows. All that was great, and also that of course makes the king, be a character that you can respect. And like, yeah, it's a great character. So yeah, I really like the king. He's a great character, definitely. All the episodes I loved the whole. I like in the whole. Asta returns, right. We see Noelle there being sundered. Back us! I don't care, I don't love you. I mean, kinda do, but no. Like, yeah, that's awesome, right? I love the thing when Mimosa but were open. So he's like, Asta, you're hugs him and so on. I love those things there. Because she's Sundra, her cousin, kind of, all her sister, but they're kind of close, right? Yeah, she's much more open, but she's getting jealous. Oh, that was great. But my favorite part is Klaus, it's Klaus Senpai, yeah. I talked about it a few months back, maybe a month, 2 months back. Will Klaus Senpai recognize him? Yeah, we get the Senpai. I can also say, yeah, Senpai's really. I love also the Klaus is like, Asta, my boy! He was in there first. Yes, he's fine. And then earlier we see them right when he's like, oh, where Asta go? And just like, he's fine. That guy can't get killed so easily. And then of course later on we see them walking around and they always meet, Asta and Noelle and so on for some reason. And he's like, Asta, you're fine. So yeah, I think that was best. I mean, I'm loving the side character of Klaus. Yeah, he's a freaking awesome character. So anyway, like I was talking about earlier, the title here is, of course, Yuno and Asta. So we have that moment there, of course, when Klaus is, oh, my Asta, yeah, and Mimosa looks happy. And then Yuno tries to not kill them, but it's kind of like uncontrolled. I don't like that at all. I like the whole thing with Asta. Asta's getting like 2 ranks up there. They get sort of 5, right? They started the 5 rank thing and then they go upwards. Charming went up like the junior thing there, and yeah, like you all should listen to me, and that's good as well. But yeah, so Asta is now higher ranked than, for example, Magna and Luck, because they're just fighting. They never gain the rank. They don't even know about it. They're like, what? This rank systems? I just kill people for fun. Yeah, it's like, what? I start to fight, yeah, like, oh, what is he thinking? So that was good, right? But and I think Asta's character development and also power development is kind of good, yeah, it's kind of good. Even though he got a weapon in the dungeon, but I think it's pretty good. But I'm not an overly big fan of it, It's kind of like he goes to this dungeon and he gets the cube, right? That's kind of like that. He has like an inner, it's a spirit side of him, right? He has like a spirit side of his book that is just absurdly strong and it's very much this. Asta also has a demon thing, yeah. Yuno has the wind spirits. It's kind of like, it's typical, Bleach, Naruto, and so on, right? When they have an inner demon, or in this case, more a friend that's opposite of spirit, right? That he can awaken when he needs to. So when he almost dies, it's like, I can see magic now. And it's very much, nor does it feel like it could be a Naruto scene, right? When Naruto is like, oh, I have to summon Kyuubi now. Or it could be a scene, it felt more like Bleach to me, a little bit there, in Yuno fight against the old hag, when he's kind of like, oh, I can see the magic now, there's a lot of there's a Bleach feel to it, right? Ichigo is like, I'm not dying now, it's like, I can see the Ryatsu, everything makes sense. And then it's like, oh, hollow form or Wizard form or something, yeah, or some kind of, you know, full ringer or who knows, you know, Ichigo, yeah, Bleach is the child, yeah, it's a poster child for weird power twist, right? And it's like, oh no, I could from this thing, right? But yeah, so that happens a lot, and it kind of felt like that. He managed to summon his inner something, right? And then it's like, oh yeah, I can fight now. I can see the truth of the world now. Not an overly big fan of that. Mainly because it's done to death. But also what I don't like about it, which I realized this week, and I thought about it earlier as well, but this week, is that when it comes to characters like Ichigo, which is absurdly bad written because he has like every power in the whole universe, that thing is ridiculous. But at least in the beginning of Bleach, he kind of was like, oh, he has one hidden power, maybe like 2 hidden powers. And then it's kind of, you know, it was kind of like he was born with it in a bit. It was kind of like the Destiny child, right? Very, very typical, of course, Japanese storytelling. You go like any European game pretty much. It's like the main character is always like the son of the god or something. It's always a, you know, whatever, half god or something. And I think I liked it more, honestly. Yeah, I think I liked it more. Where, yes, it's not actually much better when it comes to the fighting. They just have a power inside of them. But at least then the power makes sense, that they were born with power, it's destiny, I know. But here with Yuno, it does bring me into a little bit like his power level to me is kind of like, I would prefer it, you know, if it was like, no, he always had the spirit with him. It's probably going to be explained later that the spirit was for him, because he's a kind of royal blood or something, right? We know they were abandoned, called orphans, and Yuno had this like very nice scarf thing, right? So that spirit is what connected to his like royal blood and that, probably in the end. But for now, it feels to me that I think this is worse because he just went in the dungeon and he managed to find his cube, right? That's kind of how I see it, right? He went in the dungeon and he's like, oh, here's inside demon me. Yeah, and he's like, I grabbed this scroll. Oh no, I have a demon living inside of me. Oh, I can summon this demon when I need, right? It's kind of like that. Yeah, he's kind of like, instead of being bored with it, like Naruto and Ichigo and so on. Yuno went into a dungeon when he was in teenage years and managed to, like, you know, yeah, become possessed by this thing, right? And that to me feels a little worse than having to live with it, yeah. Because, yeah, and that's the thing too, because obviously this is the main thing in Naruto, but, you know, the character has to live with having these powers, and people hate it for the story. It's sort of like, you know, this is a bad thing. You only has the ups of it, yeah. You had a normal life, and now he found this, like, good spirit that now rests inside of him, and it just makes him stronger when he needs to. Yeah, it's just the upside. It's just purely upside of having that power limit. So, like, I'm not really feeling it, honestly. I don't think Yuno's a bad character, but I think that thing, I would rather have it probably that he actually was born with that power, or he managed to, like, you know, summon it out, you know, internally, I think, or something like that from his book, more than just finding it. But it's probably gonna be explained, I guess. But one thing though that I don't like with the whole thing here, or not don't like, but one thing about it is that you just get really cocky, right? That's my opinion. Yeah, he getting all this like, oh no, I can beat him easily, and so yeah. We can sense that the wind that Asta was too strong, and you're like, what are you doing? You know, oh, I want to write that thing, yeah. And so I think that regardless of if you like this power level from him, because he clearly jumped, right? Klaus says so he jumped like 10 times in power level suddenly. Regardless if you like it or not, I think definitely that's gonna bite him in the ass, right? So I think he's gonna lose because of that. He's gonna almost die, very unlikely to die, but he's probably gonna have some big defeat, right? Because he's gonna be very arrogant now with his powers. That's probably gonna happen. Or I feel a little bit like a Sasuke thing with him, and I want to spoil Naruto here, but come on, it's 10 show, yeah. Where it's kind of like, oh, I'm so powerful, I don't need you guys. Or Sasuke was a mix of that and also being disappointed being a weakness, right? Yeah, so, you know, also not going fast enough, I suppose. But it feels like Yuno's going that direction a little bit, which is kind of like, oh, I'm so much better than everyone else, I don't need you guys anymore, yeah. So he could turn evil. I don't think it's gonna happen because he's presented as very, very much the mirror of Asta, right? You know, used like an actual mirror, not like an actual, you know, the reverse, but actually just being a good, intelligent version of Asta. So I don't think it's happening at all, but I could see it being a low chance of that, right? It's gonna betray them. It's gonna become, you know, too arrogant and leave for, you know, evil powers to grow faster. I could see it happening, potentially some kind of power hunger. But I think mainly it's gonna be that he's definitely gonna probably lose a huge battle, right? He's gonna be arrogant. It's like, oh, I can take them easily. Summon spirit thing, and then like, no, and it's probably almost kills him. And that's gonna happen to Yuno. Yeah, I think he's gonna lose severely in the upcoming battle. Probably not too much far ahead either. Probably in like, maybe not this anime there because pacing is horrible, but you know, in an upcoming maybe like 25 episodes left or so, yeah. Probably. I think it's gonna happen probably before the anime is over. I think that's reasonable. So yeah, next week, Noelle as a maid. So next week's gonna be about the charming guy, right? Yeah, the Bishonen guy, the always has to get extra time, yeah. It's gonna be about him. Right there we see Noelle in maid costume. I'm like, yes, finally. And it's on fan service of more of Noelle. So that's gonna be awesome. So yeah, new arc next week then. One thing I hope for this arc is that it's not gonna be too much like Yuno, Mimosa, Klaus, and so on. Even though I like Mimosa and Klaus, and I don't dislike Yuno, even though I don't generally dislike Yuno, but I do feel that the whole having the whole, as I mentioned, the power inside of you, weird power, yeah, it's better if you win. But anyway, I hope the next arc is gonna be more the other characters, because we had one arc heavily focusing on Yuno and his team, right? And then this arc as well, they were definitely a lot of showcasing of Yuno. We saw, him fighting the hang and so on. So I feel now it's time to, let him do his own stuff on the side, right? Let him go out, master his magic on the side. Whereas it's gonna feel that this anime pretty much has two main characters at a time, and that I don't think is positive. Not that they're two so similar. Yes, they're super rivals, but I think there's gonna be too much time going back and forth there. So I think it's better if he has his own adventure now for like 10 or so episodes at least, without Yuno. So I think that's gonna be better. So hopefully that's gonna happen now. It's gonna be Asta and the Order, and they're clearly going to introduce new characters, right? I mean, not sort of new, but as we've done before, they're gonna like Magna, Luck, Charmy. It's not gonna be, of course, Bichon and Flirter guy. Yeah, it's gonna be the next step, right? That's kind of the formula is definitely very set there. So anyway, hope that's the review, and I'll see you guys next week.